Hello everyone, welcome back. I got two more of these ALG triggers in, right? These are ALG Defense Triggers, Advanced Combat Trigger. I bought these from Optics Planet. They're about $60. I got a lot of these. I think I was waiting for about 4 months to get these in. They were back ordered. So I want to, basically maintain my supply. Basically, every time I have to change out a trigger, I buy two more. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't realize that triggers on AR-15s are consumable. Okay. The more you use them, the more they wear out. AR-15s are meant to be light guns, right? They're not meant to be indestructible guns. So you can expect that parts are going to break. You can expect that firing pins are going to break. You can expect that extractors are going to break. You can expect that the gas rings on your bolt are going to break. You can expect that the bolt itself is going to break. As if you put a lot of rounds on it. Usually people are somewhat aware of the bolt and the bolt parts as being consumable items, but they don't think of the trigger group as being a consumable item. Okay. The triggers on AR-15s, from what I've been told, are rated for about 5,000 rounds. Now, that said, I usually get closer to 10,000 rounds out of my AR-15 triggers. Okay, but once you get over that 5,000 round mark, you can basically, you better make sure you got a backup trigger. Okay, the parts of the trigger that usually break, I've seen it. Usually what happens as I start approaching 10,000 rounds, what typically happens is I'm shooting and then the trigger group just locks up. Okay, I'm pulling the trigger doesn't do anything. It's just like a frozen trigger. The way to unfreeze it is basically you take your safety, you put it to a safe position, and then back to the firing position. I've seen this happen several times. Okay, so if your trigger group just locks up, just flip your safety on, flip your safety off, and usually you'll be able to keep shooting. Okay, but that's your warning that it's time to change your trigger. The other thing that I've seen happen is that after you get past 5,000 rounds, approaching 10,000 rounds, you'll occasionally get 2-round bursts, 3-round bursts, which understandably are kind of fun, right? But the gun's unreliable, okay? And what will typically happen is you'll fire a 2 or 3-round burst, and then the gun will jam up, okay? Because the gun's not meant to do that. It's not designed to work like that. So that's another indication that your trigger group is wearing out. The way it works is like you have your trigger here, right? When you press it, the sear drops, and this is your hammer sear, right? And you press the trigger, and it releases. So you got these two parts here, right, at the sear, that are constantly rubbing against each other over thousands of rounds. And it's really like a really small area that makes contact. So when you have like two really small areas that are making contact over thousands of repetitive motions, they tend to wear out. Okay, so you can expect that from your AR-15 triggers. Now, I have here a Palmetto PX9. This takes Glock 9mm magazine. Okay, so this is a 9mm rifle that looks like an AR-15. And this is a straight blowback, okay? There's no rotating bolt on this. This is a straight blowback, no gas system. So a bullet goes out the barrel, and that the recoil itself operates the bolt, pushes the bolt back. Blowbacks are extremely rough on the gun, right? Because with the standard AR-15, what's happening here is you've got that rotating bolt, and what happens is that rotating action sort of cushions the bolt movement. Okay, with the blowback, there's no rotating action, so there's no cushioning, so it's extra hard on the gun. With these Palmetto PX9s, good thing, it's kind of like a good and a bad thing. The good thing is that they take standard AR-15 mil-spec triggers, so the same ALG triggers that go into this AR-15 will go into this PX9, so that's great because I can stock up on triggers that will work on both of these guns. But what happens is because this is such a hard recoiling system. And by the way, I have an 8-ounce buffer weight in here to try and slow it down. Okay, so even after putting an 8-ounce buffer weight, what I had to do actually is I had to put these stainless steel pins, because the hammer pin was breaking just from that violent vibration. So I was breaking the hammer pin on this. So I put a stainless steel anti-rotational pins in this. I haven't had any problem since I did that. But the point is that if you have 9mm AR style rifles that are blowback, you're going to break pins, right? And cool thing about these ALG trigger groups is they come with their own pins. That said, when you don't throw out your old pins. So if you ever, as your trigger groups wear out, keep the parts, because you might be able to salvage some of the parts down the road if there's ever a shortage. And I've been there, right? I've been in situations where I've had trigger groups that wore out, and everything was sold out. I couldn't get the parts I need. So I learned my lesson way back, that I have to stock up on all the parts that are consumable. Okay, so in addition to the bolt parts and the bolt carrier parts, trigger groups, stock up on these. They're $60. I mean, if you got an AR, you should have at least one of them, preferably two. Okay, because remember, not just one for yourself, but also one for your neighbor. Okay, because think of in a real shit hit the fan type of situation, you guys are going to probably be working together. Okay, so have at least one backup AR trigger group, preferably have two of them. And like I said, the trigger groups are rated for about 5,000 rounds. I'll typically go 10,000 rounds. If you have a 9mm AR, like this one over here, keep in mind that aside from the blowback being extra hard on the rifle, when we shoot 9mm, we tend to shoot a lot more of it, right? Because when we're shooting AR-15s, we're shooting, we're buying 20-round boxes, right? Well, with 9mm, we're buying 50-round boxes. Okay, so typically we shoot a lot more 9mm. So that's one of the great things about this 9mm rifle, is that you can buy lots of 9mm. You can throw it into your pistols, throw it into this rifle. So these blowbacks tend to do a lot more shooting. So again, you're gonna go through your trigger groups a lot faster. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. These are the trigger groups that I use, ALG. Not because I think basically they're mil-spec triggers. And it's not like they're better than mil-spec, but they're just good mil-spec, reliable triggers. It's not the only one I would use. It's probably the one I'm just most familiar with. I've seen, I've seen other people give them good reviews. This is going way back. So other people gave them good reviews, and I said, okay, let me try them out. So based on that, I tried them out, and my experience with these has been really good. Obviously, if you guys can see on the ground over here, I do a lot of shooting. So I put a lot of rounds down range. I had one AR-15. This is actually a replacement AR-15 that was given to me as a warranty replacement, because the predecessor to this, I completely shot out the barrel at 21,000 rounds. So over 21,000 rounds, I went through about 3 trigger groups. Okay, this 9mm AR over here, I think I've kind of lost count on the rounds on this. I mean, I can easily do 1,000 rounds a month on this gun, if not more. I probably have put in at least 2 trigger groups on this PX9 over here. So just keep it in mind. This is definitely something that you want to have backups of for your AR-15s. You want to have extra bolt parts. Have an extra bolt carrier. Get one of those lost and broken parts kit. Okay, and you just get yourself full trigger groups. Like I said, for $60, it's worth having, because I had to wait, I think, about 4 months for these 2 to come in, and I've got at least 5 more just sitting in a drawer somewhere. But you know, I wanted to, you know, stay ahead of this. You know, I don't want to get to the point where I needed an extra trigger group and all of a sudden, you know, this crazy stuff going on out there and I can't buy parts. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll talk to you next time. Oh, by the way, they also do have a polished, this is just a standard one. They have a polished AR trigger group, which is supposed to be a little bit smoother. I just get the standard ones. I mean, you know, usually with these ARs, I'm shooting within 100 yards. A lot of times I'm shooting within 30 yards, and I just need to be able to just put lots of bullets down range. Okay, so you know, I have another AR that I use only for distance shooting. Yeah, that's got like a fancy 2-stage trigger. You know, so that's one AR that I use for my distance shooting. All my other ARs, you know, I'm usually just blasting stuff right up here, right close. So I just, you know, need reliable triggers. So these do the job fine. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys next time.